Right, so next up what I wanted to do is focus on some of the melodic elements of the track. So I'm going to start off with some chords, and when I'm programming in chords or playing in chords, what I like to do is open up a piano or a Rhodes synth just because it's easier to come up with some ideas. So my go-to for Rhodes sounds is the Lounge Lizard, which is a really cool plugin from Applied Acoustics, I think it is. So on this plugin, pretty simple, load it up, and you've already got a lovely sounding Rhodes. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use that to think of an idea, and then use some samples from the pack with the chords that I've played out. So let's record in a little simple 4-bar loop to start with. Okay, so that will do. And if we double click on this green thing here, it will bring up the notes we've just played in. It's cool, looks good. And if we press Command A, we can select those. What we want to do is quantize them. So if you see this over here, this is our quantize function. We just want to do it 116 right on the grid. And as you can see, the notes are all lined up perfectly now. So like I was saying, what I want to do with that is then find a sound in my pack and use that for those chords. So if we go back to the pack, and we want to go into the synth hits this time and find some cool sounding synth sound that we can use for those chords. So if we have a listen through, that could be cool. So what we want to do is drag this over to where it says drag audio files here to create an instrument. And this is a cool new feature from the latest update of Logic. If we click on Quick Sampler or Original Optimize, we can create a whole instrument from that one sound. It's going to spread it all the way across the keyboard for us. So if we do that, you can hear that we can play chords on it now. So if I drag these chords down to that, you can hear we've got a cool sounding synth to start with. And then again, you can mess around with that. So if you double tap here, this will take you back to that plugin. And then we can mess around with the glide. I'd add a little bit of glide, that's always cool. What that does is it glides from one chord up to the next. So it sounds like they're kind of merged a little bit. Sounds cool. What I'm going to do as well, EQ this a bit. I want to add a little bit more in the mids, take away a little bit of the lows. You don't need to do this, but basically what this will do will mean that this synth isn't in the same frequency band as the bass that we're going to add later is going to be in, and it's going to stop the mix from getting too muddy. So if we play this with our... Does that sound cool? Something else cool that I like to do in a lot of my tracks actually is to reverse the samples we're using. So we can keep those chords that we've already got, but also underneath you've got kind of a reverse effect which adds something cool in the background and a new texture. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on these chords, and then you can see there that we can bounce it in place. So if I do that, leave your settings like this, click OK, we can rename that reverse. And to make sure it lines up, what we want to do is we want to cut it where the chords end or at the end of the bar. So if I hold Command and double tap, I can then cut at the end of each chord. Then if you select all of these, come to the top here where it says region, click on that, and you've got the option to reverse. You also want to unmute your original sound. So that's in there as well. And if we listen to the two of these together, this is what it sounds like. It's kind of cool, but what I like to do is kind of wash it out a bit. So we put some reverb on there. Quite a bit actually. Bring that down and increase the size of the room so it's a bigger reverb. Maybe a little bit less than that. So if we listen to the difference, this is with it. And this is without it. It's a little bit less boring. But yeah, it's just a nice cool element to add in the background.